How can the government or policies help middle America? How can the government help middle America? Let's think about that part right there. How can the government help middle America? Okay, so a perfect example to give you here. I don't know if we talked about this last time. Did we talk about the $63,000 salary or no? I don't think we've talked about it.
I don't think so.
Okay, so Adam, Vinny, Tom, Rob, all of you here, I want you to think about this answer. If you make $63,000 a year, you love your mom, your father passed away, is no longer in the picture.
Sounds like me.
Sounds like you.
Yep.
You make $63,000 a year. What percentage of your money are you comfortable giving to your mom to help her out? If you make $63,000 a year, which is roughly $5,200 a month, what are you comfortable giving to your mom to help her out?
A year?
If you make $63,000 a year.
I'm asking a sincere question.
If you're the average American, you probably don't have enough money to give your mom anything.
I agree, but give me a number to say what.
$5,000.
10% tithe for your mom.
Tom.
$500 a month is probably what it would take to help your mom get over anything.
Okay, so let's say $500 a month, which at $63,000.
That's about 10%.
That's about 10%, right?
Yep.
Okay, sounds good. Watch this. Do you know if you add 8 zeros to that $63,000, what number you come up with? Our federal expenditure. Do you know out of our $6.3 trillion a year on federal expenditure, how much we spend on entitlement programs? Do you know what the number is?
What's the total number?
Out of $6.3 trillion, what percentage we spend on entitlement programs, or what dollar amount out of the $6.3 trillion?
Wasn't it $2 trillion, about 33%?
Probably closer to $3 trillion.
$3.3 trillion we give to entitlement programs.
Half of it.
Let me give you another number on this context, since we're on this context. In 1940, okay, no, not 1940, go to 60 years ago, whatever 60 years ago is what, 1960. In 1950, what percentage of kids born in America you think were born to single mothers?
And what year is this?
Go to 1950. What percentage of kids being born in America were born to single mothers?
I'll tell you.
10%?
I would say it's half of that, probably 4 or 5%.
It's exactly 4%.
Okay.
You know what that number is today?
Probably like 40%.
It's exactly 40%.
Wow.
It went from 4% to exactly 40%. Here's a question for you. Now, obviously, give or take. Someone's going to say it's not exactly it's 41 or 39. All I'm saying to you is it went from 4 to 40%. How do we get here? How do we get from 4 to 40%?
Welfare queens.
Actually think of, do you know we are one of the worst countries, if not the worst country in the world, in kids being born to single mothers? Why? So Biden comes out and they want to add another $2.6 trillion because they want to increase the amount of money we're giving to single mothers with kids. Here's how the policies got started. What caused this? The surge is based on two things. One in 1935, FDR, when he came out with Social Security.
New Deal.
He also came out with a New Deal. He also came out with policies to give money to single mothers, okay, who had kids. Okay, these are single mothers. Maybe they lost a husband, war, something was going on, but they're like, we have to take care of them. Fine, we have to take care of them. No problem. Then in 1965, LBJ takes it to a whole different level. And then you see the skyrocketing. And they said, here's how we're going to invest into eliminating people being poor.
The Great Society.
Brandon, can you send me that one chart on the flip on what happens if the investment we made and the amount of debt we increased to help out the poor, to eliminate the poor? Brandon, if you know what chart I'm talking about, just text it to me for me to show this to Rob so Rob can show it up. This is not the one, but he'll send it to me right now to see it. It took 55 years for us to find out that investment we made in single mothers became a bad habit, and now it's costing us so much money that we can't get away from it anymore. We're spending 53% in entitlement programs. So going back to what we're talking about, no, the other one that shows, Rob, the other one that shows the one that's declining and the other one that's increasing. I think you know which one I'm talking about. Here, I'll send this as well to Rob, but the other one, Rob, I'm going to send this to you so the audience is watching this. They know where to go get the source to do their own research on what we're talking from 4% to 40. So going back to Adam, your point about what to do, there's two things I think about. One is what we can do as individuals, as people that have families, to inspire others. Yes, you got to make more money. Yes, you got to spend less money. And the way the government can do it, guess what? Government's got to also make more money, and they got to also what? Spend less money.
Yeah.
We keep spending more money. And we're making less. So middle America's, look at this. This is less than 4% in 1950s. You see the number of single unwed birth rates. We're above 40%. We're at 41%. This is not good. So by the way, somebody's watching and saying, how do we get off the topic and are talking about this? What happened if my mother tried to discipline me, single mother say, hey, you better do this. I'm not listening to my mom. What are you talking about? No, I'm going out. I'll be home at 11 o'clock. Yeah. You need to be home by this time. She can hit me. That gets to an age that the hitting doesn't hurt anymore. And she kind of sitting there saying, what do I do now? You either have to marry somebody to discipline me, or you have to call my dad, but you guys are divorced, so you guys don't talk. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want to do. So I had a 1.8 GPA in high school. What if there was some order in the house? What if somebody didn't come into my life to give me I saw a picture the other day that this African-American man in school is buying suits for kids, teaching them how to shake hands, teaching them how to take care of themselves. Freaking awesome. I wanted to find out who this guy was to buy him a nice suit or two for himself and take care of him. But we need more of data like this to look at and realize, listen, we're screwing this thing up. Here's the investment. Oh, my God. I can't wait to show this to you guys. Rob, I'm going to text this to you. Folks, if you see this, we have this article that's going to be coming out here soon. This research we did. Great job. Shout out to Brandon on a great job he's doing with the research. Rob, if you can pull this up so we can show this. This next one is the real one I want you guys to see. It shows, like, when you invest. Remember yesterday I was talking about 401k. Why aren't you guys investing into the 401k to match and all this stuff that we have? Short term, what do people say? Oh, it's not. What's the big deal? I'm not going to make that kind of money. I'm not going to do this. It's just short term. Look at this right here. Total means tested welfare spending and official poverty rate from 1947 to 2012. Whoa. So look at the poverty rate to the left. You see how high it was? Jeez. Percentage of people that were poor during what era? This is Great Depression, post-Great Depression, okay? And the amount of money we spend on welfare. Look at the break even. You see when they cross paths? What year is it? 1990.
Yeah, 1992. Okay? Yeah.
Okay, 1992.
Yeah.
That takes about 55 years. But then guess what happened? The poor level stayed the same. Look at our cost for welfare. Guys, this didn't work. This whole thing about the plan that FDR came up with ended up being a shit show, and you and I are paying a price for it. And Lyndon Johnson, what he did in 65, that also didn't help. Look at the spike after 65. You see 65? So it was gradual from what FDR did to 65, but look what happened after 65. Boom. It just goes. Both of them combined, we became a spending machine country, and we're not watching what happened to China and Japan. We are next if we keep going like this. This is a serious issue. This is not a hypothetical. When I'm going around talking to different podcasts, this last week I did podcasts, a few different podcasts. One podcast I did with Tom Ford. I think his name is Tom Ford from Forbes. He says, look, I disagree with almost every single one of your policies. Obviously, he's on the left. And we're having a conversation. He says, well, how about this and how about that? And I talked to Georgienko, and we're talking to Graham Stephan. Georgienko about to get married, wants to have a family. Graham Stephan about to get married, wants to have a family. And this other guy had 2 daughters that I'm talking to. I said, listen, I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. This shit's not working. This spending money to try to save poverty is not working. We need to step out of the way and let people figure it out. 4% to 41%. What happens when most kids are raised by single mothers? Boys are going to be doing whatever the hell they want to do. Make cities unsafer. You can't look at this and say, well, that's not fair, and that's racist, and that's this, and that's that. No problem. Go back to your ideas, and see what that's doing to your society. You go ahead and do that. Keep spending the money, see what it does to you. And then one day we're going to wake up and we're going to say, damn it, look at this stuff. But this is proven. This is not a hypothetical. This is proven data on what we did and where we are today. And either we're going to do something about it or we're not.
And Pat, you said the first thing if you were in charge, it would be number one is just stop printing money.
No, I'm going to change incentives. Is the first thing I'm doing.
Okay, like for instance, what would be one major one?
How is your life right now? How do you feel right now with yourself, your confidence, your personal life?
Right now, I'm good.
You're good?
Yeah.
Okay. What changes have you made in your life? Give dramatic changes you made pre-VT to now.
Pre-VT, I don't drink. I'm
pre-VT, you were drinking.
Of course.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, not like a maniac, but I go out, I drink, I socially drink. Adam's like, drinking, obviously going to church, spending money on less stupid stuff. I'm not going out. I'm not doing anything crazy, but just everything's changing.
Okay.
Positive, health, everything.
Everything, health, different way you're eating. You know, the other day, George is like, hey, why does Vinny look like
Vinny's
he's
on
so good?
steroids.
Yeah.
Everybody, that's just haters.
The first thing we have to do is we have to change the incentive programs that we have in America. Our incentive program, which is our tax system, when you work for a sales company, whatever their comp structure is going to produce behaviors. Our tax system is producing the behavior of single mothers. Our tax system is producing the behavior of not going after your dreams. Why? Because the government's stealing that away from you by giving you money so you don't have to work your ass off to go after your dreams. Our tax system is producing super, super, super wealthy people, and it's producing the middle class to be eliminated. There is no incentives. Our tax system is making the big companies bigger and the small business owners to disappear. Just 40 years ago, we have 50-plus companies when we wanted to buy weapons or we wanted to buy planes. Today's those 50-plus companies are five. We are now, with what's going on today in the economy, these bigger banks are buying the smaller banks. What is that doing? Fewer options to go to banks? It's being nationalized. The tax system and our incentive system is destroying the middle class. And the only way to address that, you have to make some dramatic changes, and that is going to infuriate so many people at the top that have control. So for a person to do that, the current system is not going to be sustained for a person like that to win. So this is why I kind of like what Vivek is talking about. This is why I like what RFK is talking about. This is why I like the fact that Trump's pushing the envelope. Even the DeSantis is out there. Hopefully they're able to give their message better tonight or tomorrow night. Tomorrow night's going to be the debate where we're watching it, right? We need somebody to come in that can't be bought, that's not for sale. One of the best moments in the debate was when Trump and Hillary are going at it, and Anderson Cooper asks a question and says, taxes. If you can pull this clip up, I don't know if you know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He says, hey, Mr. Trump, you know, your tax records show that you paid nothing in taxes last year. You haven't paid taxes for this many years and da-da-da-da-da. And he says, yeah, absolutely. My goal is to pay the least amount of taxes possible. So are all of her donors.
Yeah.
And then she said, but here's the thing. If Hillary wanted to fix it, how come she hasn't changed that for 30 years? Because her donors won't be happy. And this is why I haven't taken a single penny from the donors, because I can't be bought. I can't be controlled. She can't. The only reason somebody will listen to that and say that's bullshit is because you're such a Democrat that you're not open to the idea of an opposing argument. That logically makes all the damn sense in the world. One person is bought, the other person is not. Is this the one that you're talking about? Play this one. I think this is the one. Go ahead and play it.
Last month, taxes were the #1 issue on Facebook for the first time in the campaign. The New York Times published 3 pages of your 1995 tax returns. They show you claimed a $916 million loss, which means you could have avoided paying personal federal income taxes for years. You've said you pay state taxes, employee taxes, real estate taxes, property taxes. You have not answered, though, a simple question. Did you use that $916 million loss to avoid paying personal federal income taxes for years?
Of course I do. Of course I do. And so do all of her donors, or most of her donors. I know many of her donors. Her donors took massive tax write-offs.
Last month.
Yeah.
Okay, it unfortunately doesn't show the next 30 seconds because, you know, he says, if you had 30 years, how come you've not done anything about it? Our incentive system right now sucks in America.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.